Okay. Well, I hear something walking around in the walls or something. Rocky hears it too. Okay, you. I love you. Ah, here we go. Let's go outside. Let us go outside. First, I gotta grab up my water. I got my bag of stuff here to take with me for having my shower. I do. I'm hoping I'll be able to do that today. We shall see. We shall see how that works. Take the high security bungee cord off the door. Yeah, hey. Let's have a look out here. Oh. Ooh. Well, it's kind of cold and overcast and wet. Not altogether nice. But still, it's a day of some sort. Hey, you. What do you think, my Rocky? Him's the best Rocky, you know. Yeah. Okay. Well. Oh. It's spitting out a bit right now. It's certainly not the nicest of days. Okay, you. I have to close the door, I think. Oh, nice. Yeah. There's all the beer cans that I have to count and take the perf to the beer store. I don't take them to the Smiths Falls beer store because the people who work in the Smiths Falls beer store are really unpleasant, and also because they steal my money. If I took all these into the Smiths Falls beer store, they put them all in the back and they'd give me $5 or something, or $2 or something. That's what they do there. It's horrible. So, and they're really unpleasant to deal with too. The last time I was in there, I took in around $20 worth of containers and I got $2 out of it. And the girl I dealt with was really rude, just downright ignorant. And there was an older woman in there too, working with her. And the older woman's going on, "We should just all go on strike, then nobody would get any beer," and all that. This is the way they are anyway. It's not nice. It's not professional. It's just unpleasant, you know. And I don't care what anybody says. Even if you have good reason to be unhappy with your job, never criticize your employer in front of the public. You know, never do that. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk to your employer directly, but never criticize your employer in public, in front of the public, especially in a retail business like that. Never do that. And to employers too, never criticize your employees in public. You know, I remember one time at the Metro store in Perth, there was a manager in there and he was berating some young man that was working in the produce department right out in the store in front of everybody. Told him that he was a failure at his job and even a failure at life. That's actually what he said to him. You know, stood over him and just berated him. And I thought to myself, that's just out of line, you know. Like you can express your displeasure with his performance. There's nothing wrong with that. If he isn't performing up to par, you have every right to call him out for it. But you know, don't do that. Don't do it that way. Don't publicly humiliate the guy. That's just a bully move, is all that is, you know. And especially standing there telling the guy that he's even a failure at life. He's a failure at the job, maybe. You know, it's entirely possible. Not every job is meant for every person. He's just a young man, maybe hasn't found his place yet. So you may be right about the job. He may be perfectly right about that. He may be bad at his job. But if that's the case, take him into an office and talk to him privately. And, you know, don't subject him, yourself, the business you work for, or the public to that sort of indignity, you know. Like I say, so it cuts both ways. I don't think that it's just employees that need to mind their P's and Q's. But like I say, those two women in the beer store, the last time I was in there, were just awful here in Smiths Falls. And I've had bad experiences in there before. That older woman talking about going on strike so nobody gets any beer. I thought, you are just, you know, don't do that. That's just wrong. Yeah, okay, you want to go on strike? Talk about that stuff privately with your fellow employees and with management. But don't talk about that out in the store when the public is there, you know. If you're miserable at your job, it's not our fault. I haven't done anything to make you miserable, you know. Anyway, yeah, plus it just doesn't look good. I mean, if you're that miserable, quit and find another job. But most of them won't do that work at the beer store, because the beer store pays better than most places. And where else are you going to go with a high school diploma and make that kind of money, you know, in today's world? And so as much as they say they hate it, and as much as they say, I go on strike, and all that, they know damn well that they're not going to do any better anywhere else, you know. Anyway, that's it. Got on a bit of a rant there, I guess, but I just find people are very difficult sometimes. And I take my beer containers that I get to Perth. They always treat me fairly there. It's one of the few places in Perth where I've had good experiences across the board. I can go to the beer store and cash in my empties there, and they treat me respectfully. And you don't get all this talk about, you know, we ought to go on strike and then nobody will get any beer and all that bullshit, which they, like I say, they should not be talking about that in front of the public. Yeah, you know. And yeah, that's it. The post office here in Canada, the postal workers were getting ready to go on strike. I guess the strike deadline was midnight. They've decided not to strike just yet. They went on strike just before Christmas. You know, they know when to do it, eh? They know right when to do it. They went on strike just before Christmas, and then the government ordered them back to work. And now that order has expired, so they have the right to go back on strike again. And again, the post office is talking about eliminating door-to-door residential delivery. Well, right now at this point, door-to-door residential delivery is the only value the Canada Post, the post office here in Canada, offers. A courier is far better at delivering parcels. If you want your parcel all smashed to hell or lost, send it through Canada Post, you know, and they'll charge you big money too. You'll pay as much or more than you'll pay a courier to ship your parcel. So, I mean, they're terrible at shipping parcels, and they're very expensive too if you ship a parcel through Canada Post. The courier services do a much better job, and they do it for less money. And, like I say, door-to-door letter delivery, you know, residential mail delivery right to your door. That's the one service that Canada Post still offers that has some value in it. And they're talking about eliminating that. Talk about cutting your own throats, you know. Like the stupidity in this country is unbelievable. And look, I'm no rocket scientist. Like, the fact that I'm actually seeing it is a good indication of how stupid things have gotten, really. Anyway, the old engine sounds like it's going to throw a rod or something. I really hope it doesn't, because I got so much into this truck right now. The last thing I need is that. But I'm going to get moving. It usually starts to sound better once you get moving. So I'm going to get moving. We'll see y'all later.